This is not a conspiracy theory. It was President Donald Trump himself who said it after Venezuela's historic victory in the World Baseball Classic 2026. After humiliating Italy in the semifinal and defeating the United States in the final 3-2, Trump posted on Truth Social, "Statehood, number 51 anyone?" After Greenland, Canada, and even Cuba in the spotlight, now Venezuela has joined the game. Changes in Venezuela are moving faster than a baseball pitch. Pedrino Lopez was fired. He is a strong figure of the Bolivarian regime, and the political economic game has completely changed. Let's start from the beginning to understand the scale of this shift. Bolivarianism did not emerge yesterday. In 1999, Hugo Chavez came to power promising to revive the dream of Simón Bolívar, a united, sovereign Latin America against imperialism. But in the 21st century, it became neo-Bolivarianism, a strong state, planned economy, nationalization of oil, and direct confrontation with the United States. Do you remember the Caracazo in 1989? Carlos Andrés Pérez attempted neoliberal reforms and privatizations. People took to the streets, and the military repressed them. That is where the anti-imperialist sentiment that Chavez capitalized on was born. Chavez promoted generals massively. Venezuela today has the highest number of generals per capita in the world. The military controls PDVSA, mining, food distribution, everything. Accusations involving the Cartel de los Soles, linking generals to drug trafficking, came from the United States itself. Nicolas Maduro inherited this system and radicalized it. Repression of opponents, closure of TV stations, hyperinflation, 7 million refugees. But there was also real support from part of the poorer population and from the military. In 2002, there was an attempted coup against Chavez with support from the United States. From 2017 to 2019, heavy repression followed. Geopolitics is not a fairy tale. Does American imperialism exist? Of course it does. But Chavista authoritarianism also existed. On January 3, 2026, Trump authorizes Operation Absolute Resolve. U.S. Special Forces enter Caracas at night, bomb air defenses, invade Maduro's compound, and capture him and his wife, Celia Flores. Hours later, Maduro is handcuffed aboard the USS Iwo Jima LHD-7 on the way to New York to face narco-terrorism charges. Delcy Rodriguez, vice president and historic figure of Chavismo, assumes as interim president. Many people thought she would resist. They were very wrong. In less than 3 months, rapid decisions began to change Venezuela's landscape. The helicoide, a political prison symbol of repression, was closed. Hundreds of political prisoners were released. American companies were once again allowed to invest in oil after sanctions were lifted, and the government began to more strictly control who the country can sell its oil to. And now, a few days ago, more precisely on March 18th, she fired Vladimir Pedrino Lopez, defense minister for 12 years, a Chavez protege, a hero of the resistance to the 2002 coup attempt, and a figure the UN accused of repression in 2017. General Gustavo González López from intelligence took his place. It didn't stop there. Nearly 40% of the military high command was replaced. Pedrino left thanking loyalty to the nation without firing a single shot. Reminder, he had a $15 million reward from the United States. Delcy did not become a traitor overnight. She is pragmatic. She knows that if she resists, Trump could do to her the same thing he did to Maduro. She prefers to stay in power, open the economy, and bring in dollars rather than die clinging to the Bolivarian flag. Venezuela's military are not just soldiers. They control the monopoly on weapons and the real economy. Replacing 40% of the high command without a rebellion shows that Delcy has American backing and likely promises of immunity and positions. Trump has already openly said that American companies will exploit the oil and gold. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. This is not humanitarian aid, it is strategic interest. Compare it to Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory with limited autonomy and no full presidential vote. Or Greenland, which Trump once wanted to buy. Trump does not need to invade and occupy with troops. That creates resistance and costs. Economic control, indirect military influence, and cooperation from the local government are enough. And baseball? Venezuela wins the semifinal against Italy 4-2. Trump posts, "Wow, Venezuela is strong. Good things happening there. 51st state." After the final against the US, he posts only statehood. It is pure political marketing, using sports to normalize the idea of cultural and economic annexation. This does not happen in a vacuum. Trump revives a turbocharged Monroe Doctrine. America for the Americans. After Venezuela, he has already threatened Cuba again, Greenland too, and even Canada. The objective? Remove Chinese, Russian, and Iranian influence in Latin America. Maduro owed billions to Beijing and Moscow. Control drug flows and prevent South American cartels from becoming more powerful. Ensure cheap and stable oil. International reactions were harsh. The UN called it a crime of aggression, a violation of the UN Charter. International law experts say it was illegal. Latin America condemned it as a bloc, but no one did anything concrete. Cuba entered crisis after losing Venezuelan oil. Nicaragua and Bolivia became nervous. However, inside Venezuela, the economy begins to breathe. Dollars circulate, gasoline returns, American companies arrive. The price? Loss of real sovereignty. If Delcy continues like this, the country becomes a de facto protectorate, like Puerto Rico, but with more oil. Well, everything indicates that Venezuela will not formally become a U.S. state tomorrow. The U.S. Congress would not approve it, and Trump knows that. But the path is open for much deeper indirect economic and military influence than before. Delcy Rodriguez is playing to survive and maintain power, and this may even bring immediate benefits to the population, such as food, medicine, and energy. But the risk is enormous. If anti-American sentiment grows, and it will grow among the more hardline Chavistas, instability could return again. And the world watches in silence because no one wants to confront Trump's United States in 2026. Geopolitics works like this. There is no pure hero or pure villain. There is national interest. The Bolivarianism of 1999 died in January 2026. What is being born now? A new model of American influence in Latin America. And you? Do you think Venezuela will truly become the 51st state? Or is it just Trump talk? Thank you for watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next video.